Hi there! It's the month of May, my favorite month because it's the start of summer. So we are going to kickstart a new series on this channel where we'll talk about my favorite aspect of writing, which is character building. In this video, I will be teaching you my 5-step method of creating compelling characters that keep your reader completely invested in them from start to finish. Before we start, here's a quick disclaimer. There are going to be certain Harry Potter references throughout this video and maybe throughout this series, but that does not mean that I'm in support of J.K. Rowling, because I'm not. I'm completely against her transphobic thoughts. So keeping that aside, let's just learn from the book and not hate upon the story that we have, and it has nothing to do with the author. I feel we can learn so much from this book. Step 1. Give your characters a strong backstory. Literally every person on this planet is an amalgamation of all the experiences they've had. Experiences shape personality. It shapes how the person behaves, how they talk, how they think, how they observe, and everything about them. So if you want your character to be real and relatable, you need to have a strong backstory. When I say a strong backstory, I mean an emotionally impactful backstory. The best way of getting your reader invested in your character is by showcasing the character's backstory at the 5% mark. Now, I don't want you to go on writing pages and pages and long paragraphs about what happened in the backstory, because that's a very boring way to start any story. All I want you to do is to showcase the key aspects of that backstory which the reader needs to know in order to feel sympathetic or at least empathetic towards your character. For example, in Harry Potter, all we know about Harry in the first chapter is that he's an orphan, he's being ill-treated by his aunt and uncle, he's been bullied, he has no friends, and he feels pathetic. That's all we need to know about this boy in order for us to feel invested in him. So we don't really know how his parents died, what exactly happened when he was 1 year old. We don't know all of that. We only know the key aspects, and that is enough to make the readers feel invested in Harry and what is going to happen to him next. Step 2. Give your character a weakness. Because real people have flaws. They're not perfect. So your character needs to have certain weaknesses as well. I'm not just talking about physical weaknesses, although that could be a possibility depending upon the story that you're writing, the plot that you have. But you definitely need to give them a specific mindset weakness, because all of us in real life struggle with something in our inner belief system. So ask yourself, what is the one personality trait so deeply ingrained in your character's belief system that they're not able to fight against it? And this would be the weakness that is going to backfire at them in crucial moments of your story. In the case of Harry Potter, Harry's weakness was trying to play the hero and save the day every time. This is what got him into most trouble most times. He always wanted to save his friends, save the school, save Sirius, and it backfired on him every time. Also notice how Harry's weakness is weaved from his backstory. He never had friends, he never had his parents, and now when he has these people that he really cares about, he wants to save them no matter what. And that backfires on him and it turns into his weakness. Notice how these things work together. Step 3. Give your character a desire. Because if they don't desire anything, why are they even in your story? Everybody wants something from life. Like, I know you want to be the next best-selling author. We're not going to talk about that. Just like everybody wants something in their life, your character also has a very strong desire. So convey that to the reader. What is it that they want? And this desire can keep changing, of course. So in Harry Potter's case, Harry wants parental love. He wants friendship. He wants companionship. He wants to fit in. All of these are things that he wants at the beginning of the story, and they definitely can keep changing through the course of the story. So let your reader know what your character wants and how this desire keeps changing through the story. Step 4. Give your character a fear. This is very important because this is what is going to form the basis of why your character will do whatever they will do in the story. The backstory, the weakness, the desire, all three combine to form the fear. What is your character's worst nightmare? What is the one thing they cannot imagine is happening for real? What is the one thing they think is going to destroy them? That is their fear, and that is what is going to drive the plot forward. And so, every decision they take is to avoid this fear or is based on this fear. So in Harry Potter's case, Harry is thinking, oh my god, if Voldemort comes back to life, then he's going to wreak havoc on people's lives just the way he killed my parents. So I'm supposed to save the day by saving the Sorcerer's Stone. See how I combined all three of his backstory, weakness, and desire into his fear? And that is what he is going to do in the first book. A lot of people confuse weakness with fear. Here's how I differentiate it. In my opinion, weakness is a part of your character's personality. It doesn't change. It stays the same, and that's why it's difficult for your character to fight against that instinct. For example, in Harry Potter, Harry's insistent need to play the hero and save the day stays the same from book 1 to book 7. And that is how it is. It's a part of his personality, and he's not able to fight against that, even though knowing that it's his weakness. Fear, on the other hand, might change from situation to situation. Your character might overcome their initial fear and develop a new fear at another stage. So it's also important for you to convey this thing clearly to the reader so as to keep them invested. Fear is very important for any story because fear is the only thing that your reader is sharing with the character. If your character is afraid of something, your reader is afraid for the character. Step 5. Give your character a distinctive voice. Believe me or not, physical description is not the main thing when it comes to building a character. When you're reading a story, you're actually listening to the story in your head in a specific voice. That voice is supposed to be the character voice which the author creates. And this is not just for dialogue, like a lot of writers believe, oh, the voice just needs to be in the character dialogue. No, it's also applicable to the narrative. Be it first person, third person, omniscient, whatever narrative that you're using, if you're talking about a certain character, you need to talk in a certain way. Even if this is a third person omniscient, there is a way of making it character specific. If you only focus on the first 4 steps, you only have a character on the paper. It's a 2D character. But when you add the layer of the distinctive voice, that's when your character turns into a real life 3-dimensional character. I understand that creating a compelling character voice, which is also distinctive, real, 3-dimensional, is a very difficult step. And that's why most writers struggle with it. Hence, in my next week's video, I am talking all about how you can nail your character voice. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on the notification bell because we're gonna be talking about character voice next week. If you like this video, make sure to watch these 2 videos on screen. I'm sure they won't disappoint you guys. You're gonna have so much of fun. This is me, Srishti Rathore, signing off. See you in the next video. Until then, happy writing!